everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, The Colony. So it's about a female astronaut who becomes shipwrecked back on Earth. So it takes place in the distant future where the Earth has become uninhabitable. And for some reason she comes back to Earth and has to decide what happens with the current population that is on Earth. And this is, I'll give you a little bit of insight. This is right the first blurb where I posit climate change, pandemics, war. When Earth became uninhabitable, the ruling elite escaped to settle on Kepler 209. So it seems like the rich people got to leave and leaving us poor people on Earth for it to be a mess. So we'll see. Hour and 44 minutes. It's only 5.7 on IMDb. I don't know how many people rated it. I'll check that out and get back to you. But I don't know. Kind of sounds like an interesting concept. Let me figure it out and let me give you my thoughts. Stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching The Colony. We're at the 55-minute, 26-second mark. A little bit past halfway. I meant to check in a little earlier, but got caught up in it. A very interesting concept. So, the astronaut that I had told you comes back to Earth, crashed on Earth, whatever. She was trying to get to Earth. So, they left Earth 2 generations ago, I guess, or whatever it is. And they left Earth because it became inhabitable, right? But now they're having a problem on the planet that they're on. I'll let you figure that piece out. So they come back to Earth to see if maybe they can move back. And so this is actually what we're watching is the second wave. So they had Ulysses 1 come. They never heard back from it. And then Ulysses 2 has just arrived. Now, some just foundational stuff is, it's interesting because they land in water, but the tides are rising and falling. So it's like the ocean comes up and you're floating, or then the tide goes away like every 6 hours and you're at the bottom of the ocean, essentially, or whatever, bottom of the actual Earth, you know. So that's interesting. And she runs into people, survivors, you know. The reason I say it's 2 generations, it's been 2 generations since they've been back, so whatever. That's neither here nor there at this point. But it runs into survivors that are there who are kind of like, you know, Native Americans in a sense. You know what I mean? Like but they immediately capture her. And here's the interesting piece. So yeah, okay, so that happens. I mean, somebody strange comes into your area, whatever. They never ask any questions. Like, I'd have been like, where are you from? You know what I mean? How did you get here? What's going on? You know what I mean? There's none of that. There's nothing. And I don't understand. I don't know if that's just a mistake and they didn't, you know, or if there's a reason they didn't. Like, maybe they already knew where they were from and stuff like that. So that is a little odd to me right now. But still really kind of an interesting concept. It's just that one piece of it kind of bothers me a little bit, but we'll see. So she's trying to survive in the hopes to communicate back to her planet and let them know whatever, you know. So they kind of speak a different language. They speak English, but they also speak a little bit of their own language, and you don't know what they're saying. So I don't know what that means, but there you go. That's a better understanding of what's going on. It's, you know, like the Earth is basically barren. It's either the bottom of the ocean or you're in the ocean, right? So there's no like buildings or anything like that. And there's just people who, you know, look like they wear rags and carry, you know, like bow and arrows and stuff like that. So, all right, there you go. Interesting. Can't wait to see where it goes from here. Hopefully they correct that one little piece. I mean, why wouldn't anybody say, hey, like, where are you from? What's going on? Who are you? No. So, all right. I'll get back to it, see what happens from here, and I'll let you know my final thoughts. Stick around. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of The Colony, and I have to say, I thought it was pretty good. I really do like the plot line, you know, the concept of this movie. You know, anything like that. I always kind of like those kinds of things. I thought this was pretty interesting concept, and there's more to it that I don't want to share with you. Normally, I don't like to go on in too much detail what they don't give you on IMDb, because I feel you should enjoy the discovery as much as I do. But there's a little bit more depth to, you know, this astronaut just coming to Earth, and what I've told you, you know, the whole reason she's coming, and you know, what's going on Earth as opposed to Kepler. You know, what's the difference going on there, and what's the motivation behind everything, is part of the discovery process, and you put it all together. And I'll go back on my previous comment on why they didn't ask her. I think after watching this, not spoiling it, I think they probably knew a little bit more than they needed to ask about, is what I'm picking up on. Now, I was a little confused on the ultimate conflict. So, you know, and I don't want to go into too much detail, I just didn't understand. So we have our astronaut, what she wants to happen compared to, let's say, the protagonist. I don't know, the not the protagonist, because she's whatever, the opposite side, I guess. You know, why did they have, I get the one side, but I don't understand her side. I know I'm talking in riddles, but I think you're left to assume on your own. They don't make it clear cut on why she has an opinion different than somebody else. And I know, I'm sorry, it's very vague, but when you watch the movie, you'll see what I mean. Now, you can figure it out on your own and come up, but they don't give you a clear-cut answer. So, if you're okay with that, then you'll be okay with this. And, you know, think of this movie as one of, I think there'll be more. I'm assuming so. Yeah, I don't know how to say it better. You don't get the normal everyday conclusion that you do with most movies. Put it that way. So, or maybe you do. Maybe you do. It's how you know, they leave I think a lot to your own interpretation. How about that? That's what I'll say. And maybe they don't, and I'm just naive or slow or something like that, and I just didn't get it. But anyway, so okay, enough about that. I really thought, you know, there was one actor I recognize. I forget his name. You've seen him in other movies, but other than that, nobody else did I recognize. And I thought it was pretty well done. I thought our astronaut, Blake, she was great. And because of the differences in, you know, language, there wasn't too much dialogue. There was enough. There wasn't, you know, there was definitely enough for you to understand what was going on, but there was no real, it's not a real dialogue-heavy movie. And it didn't need to be, and you still got the whole point. So I thought that was interesting on how, you know what I mean, like, I don't know if it's the director or the producer, probably the director makes that happen. You know, not many lines, but there are some, just enough to get you where you're going, and you don't need any more than that. And that's kind of cool when they can make that happen for you. So, love the concept. Acting was just fine. Love what they did to emphasize their points or get to communicate what they're trying to do back to us with very little, with less dialogue than normal. But there you go. If you like these kinds of, it's not really a space movie, I wouldn't say that, but you know, even though she's an astronaut, it's more of the post-apocalyptic type of movie. So check it out if you like those kinds of things. Now, it's not like not everything's happening to the world. It has happened, so it's past that point kind of movie. All right. That's it. I was going to say something else, but I'm not. I'm going to let you go for it. If you think that movie interests you, check it out. Let me know your thoughts. See if you... It's a nice little gem, I think. A little... I mean, I'm not saying it's a 9 or a 10, but it's at least a 6. So, that's my opinion. If you check it out, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Hopefully I was helpful and I guided you in the right direction. If I didn't, you can let me know too. But that's it. So, you know, if you haven't already, of course, subscribe to my channel or check out my other playlist. That'd be cool. But everything else, thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.